All right. So,
Right.
hello. Hello. It is so wonderful to be here today to share with Alyss Butler. Alyss, it is so nice to meet you. And I'm going to share a little bit about how it is that we come to be here today. Because one of our amazing admin team, Sandy Gaidola, was in touch with you about your visionary art that you do. And she was so moved by her connection with you that she reached out to me and said, "You need to do a video with Alyss because this woman is amazing." And so, I was like, all right, sounds good. I'm always listening. And we got in touch and we've been chatting until we finally brought ourselves here into this place right now. And I just want to say welcome. And I am so happy to be here with you today.
Thank you, Sarah. It's beautiful to be here. We were just saying before how wild it is. Yeah, I've been sharing on Facebook groups for a while, but resulting in our one-on-one connection talk here is, yeah, it's a true blessing. So thank you for having me.
Oh, I am so thrilled to be here with you. And, my indicator is always my body, my wonderful, antenna. And I have just been having the most amazing, like, chills, sensations ever since we've been talking. So I am super excited about what is going to emerge today from our conversation. And I just can't wait to hear more about you and your process and your art and your music. So let's start by talking about the first thing that brought us together here, which is your visionary art. You do one of a kind art pieces that uh, bring through light codes. Is that correct?
Yes, they have multiple meanings. I call them astro codes. They did actually just begin as a meditation, let's say, in between making music. And I would just pick up the pen and whatever came out, would be on the paper. Um, well, actually, it really began out of nowhere. I was working at a call center, and I think this was like 2013. And I always used to draw like fairies and just doodle kind of sassy alien women and things like that. I didn't really do geometry or anything, abstract in that way.
Mhm.
And one day I was doodling and these shapes just started forming on the paper. And I was like, okay, this is interesting. I'll keep going and just filling it in and, seeing where it goes. And this guy walked by and he looked at my notepad and he was like, whoa, that looked like a DMT trip I had.
Oh,
So
wow.
I was like, okay, cool. I've never done that for myself, but okay, I'll take
Okay.
it. And yeah, I just got obsessed with drawing in that way. Like the sassy alien women and the fairies went to the side, and I was
Right.
just drawing these shapes. And one day in the shower, I just had this flash in my mind say, black paper and gold pen, black paper and gold pen.
Ooh.
So that day I went to the shop and I bought the materials that I could find. And that's where it all began, I just started drawing. Like you said, you could call it light codes, or it's just whatever comes out, whatever wants to be communicated just appears on the paper. And at
Hmm.
the time, I was reading a lot of esoteric books. My dad's an astrologer as well as his other things. So I was kind of learning at that time just all these different ideas, and that symbolism started showing up in the drawings as well. And a friend one day said, "Oh, could you just make a piece based on my friend's astrology chart?" And I thought,
Ooh.
maybe let's see how that goes. Because prior to that, I would just draw and just, whatever came out. But as soon as I tuned into the chart with the knowledge that I had at the time, it just
Mhm.
went to this whole other dimension. The shapes started forming in just such a clearer way. And it was a backwards engineering process for me to kind of then realize, oh, this is sacred geometry. This is I hadn't didn't have words for it, at that point, other than, oh, this looks like a DMT trip. So, so that was where it began, and that's where we are now. I can here's maybe for people they don't know what I'm
Yes.
talking about. This is
Oh,
that's
oh, oh my goodness.
this is
Yeah.
actually for January.
Say that again.
This is for January. This is the astrology of January in coded
Wow.
form, let's say.
Can you bring it right close? Whoa. Oh, that is absolutely gorgeous. And you know what's fun for me? The first thing that I see, because of course we're all going to see something different, is when you held it up back, I saw the face of a wolf in it.
Oh,
And we just passed the wolf moon, the Cancer full moon.
yes, yes.
So
That's so
yeah,
interesting. There's been a
wow. So
because
everyone's going to see something different, right?
for
Yeah.
sure. I've shared it a bit recently, just on a couple of groups. And the amount of, I just asked, what do you see? What do you see? And no one
Yeah.
said a wolf. You're the first person to say a wolf. Some people said an owl. Someone else was saying they saw like some Egyptian gods in it. Others saw, I can't bring it to my mind, but there were so many different things.
Oh
And
my
as I'm
gosh.
creating it, I'm just kind of drawing the symbols. For example, that's Uranus, the symbol for Uranus in the center.
Okay.
Because obviously in January we're going to be moving into a lot of Aquarius energy, and Uranus, the planet, rules Aquarius. So and then the shapes form around it. But when they start coming out,
Oh,
being seen in these other ways, I'm like, I'm just gonna move out the way.
right. Because you're the conduit. It's coming through you, and there's so much richness there. And then also when you were saying, I don't necessarily have words for it, that is the beautiful language of symbology, is that it
Exactly.
speaks to us on these extremely deep levels of our being in the land beyond words. So that's the beauty of creating art and music as well, is it's like the key in the lock of these different dimensional parts of our being where we can perceive truth and beauty and receive information that does not necessarily have an explanation in verbal
Mhm.
form. Yeah.
Well, that's also why, making them has been a backwards engineering process for me. And I've taken the feedback that I've had from clients, when they look at their astro code, the
Mhm.
feedback that always comes. And when I look at my own, or, it took me a while to make my own, like 6 years. Um,
Wow.
but when I look at my own and others' feedback to me, everyone says it feels like a very visceral experience. It's not just looking at it and just, oh, cool, that's there and there. It does something to the body. And
Mhm.
I have realized what that is, and that's because sacred geometry, we are sacred geometry. Our cells, the way they have divided, we are inherently symbolic by nature. Our body, we have antennas that can subtly sense things before our conscious mind can know. The body is a miracle. It's such a miracle. And I think there is a tendency, perhaps in spiritual communities, that we think, oh, the angels and all these beings outside of us. But we are so powerful. The body is literally a walking miracle that can, you know, decode all of these things. And that's what I really want people to understand when they're looking at these astro codes. That feeling is their own body. It's a reminder of how powerful their own body is. It's not coming from anywhere else. All of those visions and feelings are from within. So,
That is so beautiful.
yeah, as you
Like an
said,
awakening to self realization. Go ahead.
ex
What were you going to say?
exactly. Yeah, I can't remember what I was going to say. It probably was just rambling, but but just
Well,
continuing on, from that was just yeah, the body is so powerful, and I think that's kind of my mission with these codes, because I see a lot of the spiritual community, and there is a lot of externalizing. I got this from there, and this being gave me this message, and it's like, no, you brought that in. You're, you know, so
Right. We don't have to negate the self in
yeah,
order to acknowledge spirit. We can embrace ourselves within that sphere and not see ourselves as separate from it, is what I'm hearing you say.
exactly. It's a
Uh,
mirror. I always say to people, if they, whatever they see within the codes, that's a reflection of the energy that is already inside of them. It's not that there's anything external there. It's all just a mirror, and we're just tuning in at a particular frequency, and that shows us where we're at. So if
that
someone's like forward motion, or another person might see introspection, or and it's all correct. And that's
mhm.
even the thing with astrology it can become quite paradoxical. But that's a whole other tangent. But
Okay. So
but
that brings me to another question of curiosity is do you have, over the course of your career and developing this art, this skill that you have, do you have um, clients that you've worked with through different times of their lives and created art for them at different times? Like, is it a reflection of their birth chart? Or do you also do art based on their astrology in the moment?
So it has taken some iterations. Now that's something I was considering offering. It's funny you say that, is, a chart for someone's solar return, which is basically the
Mhm.
chart, your chart for a year. For those that don't know, you have an astrology chart for a year or at any moment of time. Astrology just
Hmm.
it's a fractal. It shows the fractal nature, everything
Yeah.
at any point. So yeah, the code is based, the default one, let's say, is based on someone's chart. Um, but I was collaborating with someone before. They would do a tarot reading, and I would do a code as the tarot reading was happening. So that was
Mm.
really special. That was really special. That's not happening anymore, unfortunately. I but that's something that I definitely want to bring back at a future date. Um,
Mhm.
because yeah, every moment can have it. And as I said at the beginning, this really began of me just taking a snapshot of the moment. It wasn't even based on astrology, it was just what was coming through at the time. So
Mm.
it's throughout this time, I with music and things like that, it's very easy to overthink and, oh, is this lyric okay? And spending hours crafting, a line. But with the astro codes, I just trust, whatever comes through on the paper, wherever the pen wants to go, which you probably feel as well with your art as well. It's just, this is
Mm.
what wants to come through, or this is what is just wanting to exist right now.
Yeah, that's what I call emergent work. It's
Emergent work.
whatever is emerging in
I
this
love
moment.
that.
Isn't it
Yes.
wonderful? Because it's sort of like I don't have to name or put in boxes where this is coming from. It is a collaboration between all that is and me and my hand and this
Yes.
pen and this piece of paper. And this is a moment in time where there's a convergence and an emergence.
Exactly. And that
Yeah.
being coherent with the moment like that, because the mind wants to come in, and not to say I do spend a lot of time perfecting it. Once the structure is done, I'll spend, my mind comes in and, oh, this line needs to be thicker here, and symmetrical. But the initial
Yeah.
creation, has to be from that source point. It has to come from just that 0 point of like void space, that's really so important. I don't think you can think your way into it at all. Real art is not thought into. It's just,
Right.
you know,
And
birthed.
if we give language, oh, I love that. If we give language to things like that, it can be, oh, spirit is guiding me, but it's like, it doesn't have to be that. It's like, it's me, my hand, and here we go. And when you talk about the 0 point, I was really feeling that moment when the pen touches the black page for the first time. It's just like it's a birth,
Yes,
something new being birthed right in that moment that has never existed before.
exactly. And it's funny you say that, because it took me a really long time to understand why black paper though? You know, because some people don't like that. They find it a bit too dark and, you know, and that's okay. And I would get requests for ivory or white paper.
Oh, yeah.
Uh, I've actually taken that option off because there's
Okay.
actually a very intentional reason for it being the black paper, and you have articulated it so well. Is it is
Okay.
that void space? And I think there's this idea that darkness is bad or the shadow is bad, but actually that's we need light there, you know? If a shadow doesn't have light on it, you need both, you know? And I think
Yes.
the womb space where we all come from, that is dark, you know?
Mm.
So to be afraid of black paper, or I mean, obviously some people aesthetically, we all have our taste, and that's
Yeah.
completely understandable. But just that notion, you know, often people might think, oh, it's, you know, the Freemasons, or, you know, it's
Ah,
devilish. And I've had all kinds of things, but you know, you just articulated it so well. It's that void space from which all comes. And to me, that's so beautiful, you know, it's so
it
beautiful.
is because what you're bringing into it is light, and and this is the season that we're just coming through celebrating right now from the solstice is that rebirth of the sun from the darkness. And
Yeah,
any idea of the darkness being bad is just meaning making. It doesn't mean anything. It's just what's so. It's just like, the night sky, which allows us to see the stars. There's
exactly.
no right or wrong or good or bad. It's just what's so, you know? Yeah.
Yes. Oh, I love how you really articulate things. Sometimes I'm trying to
Mhm.
say it and I say too many words, but you say it
I think
so
we're hearing each other. There's this connection of communication, calm communication. We're getting it. We're on the same wavelength here. I can definitely feel that.
yes.
And that's interesting that you receive that feedback from time to time. That's, oh, I want it to be um, against light paper or something like that. And also what I was hearing when you were describing that, when you first started to describe it, was that the color against the black actually provides this incredible contrast where it actually makes it pop even more.
Exactly.
That's what
Yeah.
I see is you know, that form of art of light on against the dark allows it to be even more illuminated.
Yeah.
It's more vivid.
I agree, yeah. And actually for a long time I just did it in strictly black and gold. And that was
Mm,
really how it began. And I did start getting some requests for color, and I was a bit too stubborn on that. I was like, no, it has to be black and gold. But
yeah.
as soon as I started experimenting with color, I think it coincided with my own growth as a person and my own sort of just I don't want to say it was kind of like some veils within myself were kind of lifting. And as I
Mhm.
started introducing the colors, there was this kind of dance within me that was shifting, and I was opening up and just seeing more things in my life in a clearer way. It's hard to put into words, but the color
Mhm.
kind of coincided with that, you know, personal change. And then from that point, as soon as I introduced it, pretty much every single person ordered in color. I still had the option for black and gold, but everyone
Okay.
wanted the color. So that to me was a sign, okay, this is the right
Yes.
direction to go in. You know, I was feeling, no, it has to be black and gold. There's so much symbology around that. But the more I thought about it, no, the color just it brings more spectrum, you know, color therapy is such a powerful thing. And I
Mhm.
very intentionally use the colors as well to it just brought a whole other layer to the symbolism, you know, for the
Mhm.
elements that are in the chart and the movement of someone's aspects and just what their whole story is saying. You know, we're not what's that word, like monochrome, or we're not just two colors, we are many different
Right.
colors, you know. So yeah, that was a real kind of shift in the astro code world for sure.
And when you describe it as part of your process and your emergence, I was really hearing you saying, when you receive that flash of insight, gold and black. it came in with such strength that you had to listen. And so there was I hear you that you were an honoring that
Yeah, yeah.
inception. And also when you were talking about your own development as an artist and that, okay, it's time for color, I was also hearing that in the greater gestalt of the world in terms of actually also we're ready. The
Mm.
greater world is ready for that as well. So, yeah, that's so beautiful to hear of your process, for you sharing your process. So, going deeper into that, your process, what is like, how do you work with people? What is the starting point for your art? And clearly, it begins with a communication and you getting to know this person on some level.
Mhm.
And then do you wait for the right moment? Is it intentional? Is it sort of, are you guided for when to begin? Just describe your process for us a little bit, if you would.
For sure. So sometimes I actually don't speak to the person at all. I just get the order in, and maybe they've maybe sent me notes. Sometimes they've sent me nothing other than their birth details. Um, and so I sometimes I have actually started it right away, and it's just felt okay. I've got the time, I've got the space. I look at their chart, I spend some time kind of walking around, just feeling into the person, and then boom, I might do it that day or the day after. Um, so it really depends, and again, that trust that I have in actually creating it, I also just trust that the moment I'm ready to make it, it will happen. Because as soon as the order comes in, it's like I've never obviously most people I've not actually spoken to or I've not had a face to face or anything. They just order and in a way I sometimes prefer that because I feel it can come in a lot more pure.
Mhm.
Not to say that people I've connected with it doesn't, but there's just almost that mystery that allows, there's no I'm not getting projections from them as to what they might want. And, I can sometimes pick up on certain things and it takes a lot just to, bring it to what it's meant to be and not, projections,
Yeah.
let's say. Um, so yeah, I spend a lot of time with the chart, just kind of looking at different patterns. I'm not an astrologer by any means, but I understand it all more from a symbolic perspective. And it's like I get given flashes, as soon as I sit down and I'm ready to do their chart, often I'll get my singing bowl and I'll just, sing.
Mhm.
I sing at the code before I make it.
Oh, I
And
love that.
yeah. There we have
Oh,
sing song before. And
oh.
I also am trained in Reiki, so I kind of use some of those principles. Reiki is obviously a broad term just for it's just tuning into energy.
Mhm,
So
mhm,
I sit with the person and I just imagine that they're here with me, but I get flashes of shapes and movement, and sometimes it's really fast, sometimes it's
mhm.
slow. I almost have to forget about the chart at that point and just let whatever wants to come through come through. Um, so as you can tell, it's different for each person. Sometimes they
Mm,
want to come through quickly, others it might take a couple of weeks, and that could just be life or,
right.
um, it's a very unique process. I'll say that.
That
And
is so cool. That is really
yeah,
amazing to hear that. And through that, I was hearing, you're getting glimpses of people's multidimensional nature.
mhm,
And sure, some people are coming in really fast, some people need time. It sort of speaks to our differences as human beings, as multidimensional beings, that of course they would land in different ways. That is so
exactly.
cool. So when from the time that the that moment, that birth point,
0 point.
is 0 point, how long does it take for you to complete an astro code image? average like for you?
So again, it really depends on the person. But because I've been doing this for a while now, I think I've made nearly over 1,000 now. So my process is quite
Yeah,
refined and just
yeah, yeah.
um, for the size they are now, which is I don't know what this is in America sizes. I think it's 8 inch by 11 inch. In the UK, we call it A4. I don't know if you use those
I,
sizes. A4,
yeah, I'm in
like a
Canada.
document.
We're in a weird hybrid between British and metric.
Yeah. You guys
So
use
yeah, that's
code.
like a standard piece of paper.
Right, exactly. Yeah. A standard
Okay.
piece of paper. That's the
Okay.
size that it is now. That's the size it began with, and I've come back to that unified format.
Okay.
And so from the beginning, I'll always do it in pencil first. It actually is
Mhm.
always pencil first. And that allows for the structure to come out very quickly because the ink does require a bit more thinking because if I make a mistake with the ink or it flays out a bit, it's a bit
Yeah.
annoying. So it's always in pencil first.
Okay.
And that usually takes about an hour and 15 minutes roundabout.
Mhm. Mhm.
Just, you know. And what I will do is I will kind of leave it to set, maybe with some crystals, or I'll do some more toning with it, or just leave it in the sun, whatever it's asking for. That kind of middle point, I leave it where it wants to be
I
and
love that.
maybe give that a couple of days just to exist. It's kind of like a fresh-born babe that's come in. It
Yeah.
needs that integration time. I'm on Earth.
That's so beautiful.
Um, so I leave that maybe for a couple of days, and then that's the point I'll bring the ink in. And because I always like to do a time lapse, because it's always nice for the person to see their code, coming in
Wow.
full force.
Very
That,
cool.
that may
That's
be, yeah, that maybe
yeah.
takes around, like, let's say an hour, 45 minutes to an hour. And because the ink is the ink is a bit scratchy at first. It doesn't come out in its full form. Again, I let it rest. It's like, oh, I'm in color now. I have
Hmm.
more, dimensionality to me. Let it stay there. And then I will add the final layer and then the final polishes. So this is a very long-winded way of saying it probably
Oh,
takes in total a week. With all
wow.
of these different phases. The actual drawing may be like 3 to 4 hours, but as there's so much to it.
Well,
And
I'm
now,
really glad I asked that question because there is a lot to this. So thank you for describing it. And you were about to say, and now?
yeah, there's so once that's done, and I write a description of it. So that in itself takes time because then I backwards decode it based on the astrology, and I then see things in it that I'm not seeing when I'm drawing. So I spend that time writing a detailed description. And it also comes with an activation guide. So I just have always from the beginning, I love when I receive something from someone and they've wrapped it and it's just so well thought. That's my favorite, I like kind of vision. Not that I've ever witnessed anyone receive their astro code, but just when they receive it and they have their activation guide and it's just a whole experience. So I
Mhm.
really, I put a lot of time into that as well. And just care and it takes me a while to not be thinking about the astro code because it's so there. And so once I've shipped it and sent it off, after that, now someone can actually order a Reiki attunement with their Astro code. So once they
Mhm.
have their Astro code in the room, I offer a distance Reiki treatment. So it's basically, and it just connects you much deeper with the code. And that's been so powerful. I tend to do distance Reiki mostly. And that for me, when I've had that, has been a much more powerful experience even than an in-person Reiki for some reason.
Mhm.
It might be that reason of when you're not with someone in person, you're fully in your own, each in your own energy, so it can be less uh, kind of filled with things, let's say. Not the best way to say it. So anyway, so that is a 45-minute Reiki session that's an additional add-on now. So it's just from those very
Mm.
first black and gold pieces, the whole thing has just evolved into a whole
Yeah.
experience. And I would really, I'm planning this year, which is why I'm saying this, I think for the first time. I'm also going to offer an additional, if anyone wants it, a custom made meditation piece, a music piece that will go with it,
Oh,
which I will record in the key of their north node in their chart, which is the part,
whoa.
which is the part of your chart of your nature that is you're evolving towards this lifetime. Not to get too
Whoa.
astral, but so
But
I'm
so
wanting to
you're bringing
extend
in sound. Oh my
exact because
goodness.
singing is it's such a big part of the process, like I said with the singing bowl, because frequency music is geometry, it's I
Mm.
think that's why I maybe have been able to create them in the way that I do because I've made music all my life, so it's basically music in visual form, let's say. So yeah, the music piece feels like the finishing or the final kind of missing puzzle piece.
Oh, that is so beautiful. That is so beautiful. Just thank you so much for sharing that, for sharing your process, because
Thank you
from
for
listening
asking.
to you, I can really feel the depth of your care. You care so deeply about the person you're doing this for, and you bring so much heart and so much integrity to your process, to yourself, to the other, to spirit that is unifying, that has brought you together for this moment. Wow. I'm just so blown away by how much love you are bringing to this.
Oh,
That
you're
is,
gonna make me cry.
that is so
Thank
beautiful. Well, it feels good to be seen because
mm.
there's just so much heart to what you're offering to people here. Like this is so, there's so much coherence across so many levels. Just, listening to you talking about letting the piece rest, that it's like comes through with this incredible push, this
Yeah,
birthing push, and then it's like, okay, let's just take a minute here and just allow it to
exactly.
breathe and sit with crystals and maybe more toning and all
Mm.
this. Is like just the levels of care that you bring. It's like you're midwifing these pieces into being. It's so beautiful.
Sarah, you know how to say things that I've just not been. Thank you. It
It's
it's
also it's so moving, actually. I'm like tearing up. It's
I know.
to hear like this quality of so much compassion and presence, like this being with another person and such and holding them with such reverence.
Well, this is you're making me think, because you're gonna make me cry as well.
Go
I think
ahead.
I think as a little girl, I didn't really feel seen or witnessed, so it's like I don't want people to have that feeling, I want people to feel completely cared for and held because I see everyone, every single person I create for, they're with me from the moment I wake up, to when I go to sleep until I send their code, So,
Yeah.
and I never get to talk about it in this way, so thank you.
So good. It's so juicy. Oh my gosh. Just allowing yourself to be so fully human, so fully embodied in this loving generosity and this openness to, oh, I can send people Reiki once they receive it. And oh, now I can create music for people. And oh, like I'm just, when you were talking about these veils being lifted from just starting with the gold and then color and now Reiki and now sound. and now and meditation, activation, like you're just in such deep listening. You're
Yeah.
in such connected listening to what wants to come through from your beautiful open heart and this giving spirit that you have. I'm so moved. I'm so
Wow. Yeah, you're helping me feel seen, Sarah, very much. I haven't had I rarely get the opportunity to talk about this, and it's even though we
yeah.
know the words don't do justice, words, can also be very magical and it's vibration, so getting to actually talk about it and have you mirror back things that because it's been such a just integral part of my life, that I've been building. I've built everything on my own. I haven't seen anyone doing it in the same way, and it's not been easy, it's been
Yes.
hard, and being, am I a visual artist? Do I make music? I had a big music career, still, still make music and still release it, but Astro Codes came in and it's just it's been such a wild journey. And I just want to keep creating as much and just giving people experiences that, even if someone can't, they don't have the funds to get a personal Astro code, anything I can do, that I give away the free monthly Astro codes, which can still be used in a very deep and personal way. As we said, everyone sees something different, so
Yes.
it's as much as I can do for people without burning myself out, I will continue to,
Yes, because it's enriching on
Yeah.
all layers. Because when you listen to the muse in this way, being an artist and a musician, you understand the imperative that you simply have to, in order to be well, you must listen
Yes.
because it won't let you go until you do.
I know. I know.
So it's partly for your own well-being and also for this collective interface
Yeah.
where you're giving to community and you're also giving individually. And I really see you weaving rich relationships with every line that you draw. There's a weaving that is happening. So I just want to thank you for the grace of sharing, because wow, that that was incredibly moving to hear. Just
Thank you so
how much heart you bring, how much of your heart and soul you're just coming right into the infinite now, infinite wow moment. And there are miracles that move through your hands and your voice and your spirit. So thank you for listening so intently.
Thank you so
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. Sometimes
Oh.
sometimes it's a lot, but I'm doing my best to kind of take stillness for myself, so I can listen more because my
Mm,
can get very hyperactive and I need to do this and make this like it feels like this big responsibility. I need
yes.
to make this music and make all this art, but that I'm learning slowly that the more I am still, the better I can show up, for what I'm offering for someone, for more people, and
Mhm.
it's a real paradox. It's a real paradox,
Mhm.
this human life.
Isn't it? Yes, and the creation of the art is your meditative practice. It's part of what sounds like it's part of what anchors you and is
Definitely.
nourishing you on very deep levels. So
And
what a
I would
beautiful
actually
interaction. Go ahead, sorry.
very beautiful. And I was going to say I would highly recommend that anyone get a compass and a ruler and just practice drawing sacred geometry because as the act of doing it is so good to just balance our I don't want to say the left and right brain, but just to bring your kind of heart and mind more into a kind of a coherent flow.
Okay.
It does something, drawing geometry, whether it's just simple or it really does something and anyone can do it. Anyone can, take geometry into their own way. Like what I'm doing is unique because I'm a unique person, but anyone
Mhm.
can create, from that 0 point. It's accessible to all of us, So I just wanted to say that, yeah.
That's brilliant that you shared that encouragement because that's absolutely true. It's, yeah,
And it
picking.
doesn't have to be sacred geometry. It's art in any form, picking up a pen or
Mhm.
cooking or anything, we can access that in whatever creative way we want to. But geometry is pretty cool.
It
It,
sure is. Yes. Um, I heard once that um, there's this community where they talk about creating with intention, but the hands are like keeping the hands busy. Creating is what activates intention. It's what
it's
brings it
very,
into the world. Let's create things. Just keep doing things. Yeah.
yes. I think,
So go ahead. Sorry. Yeah.
sorry, you made me think of different things. But I
Okay.
think, and it's the act of writing, or using our hands, we have direct lines from our heart. I mean, it goes all over the body, but there's very particular lines, meridians maybe, that go from our heart to our fingers. So that's why journaling is one of the most powerful tools, or drawing, or just like you said, using our hands,
Uh-huh.
for that heart coherence, coming more in coherent with our heart. I know when I journal or draw, that is when I feel the most, you know, clear. So yeah.
Yes. There is a real magic that happens there. Yeah. That's so cool. Thank you for sharing that. I didn't know that. So I learned even more new things today.
Yes, we've both learned a lot today.
I'm just wondering if you would be so kind as to share just to share a little bit more about the Astro Code for this month that you've generated before we complete today.
Yes. So, well, I'll show again for reference.
Oh,
Um,
so beautiful. Oh my gosh.
so obviously we've had the Cancer full moon.
Mhm,
Um, and that's represented by the moon here because the moon rules Cancer. So
mhm,
it was very at home there. I think it's a really beautiful way to start the year because it was an opportunity to get just really in our emotions and really in our, clear emotions.
mhm,
Um, and as I mentioned earlier, oh, and also as well, this shape here, it's a
mhm,
downward facing triangle. That's the alchemical symbol for water. So again, it's, it's the womb space, and that's very connected with Cancer as well, the mother of the zodiac. So there's just that, feeding down. We've got feeding down into Uranus here at the center, which obviously the sun will be going into Uranus this month, sorry, into Aquarius,
mhm,
ruled by Uranus. I always do that. Um,
mhm,
and at the bottom here is the symbol for Saturn, which is the planetary ruler of Capricorn. And most of this month is actually, most planets are in Capricorn. So
mhm,
it's a really, because Cancer and Capricorn are opposite in the zodiac, it's quite a big polarity happening, where we're really being asked to not only ground, I would say, to sum up, just to really ground in our emotions, not to get carried away by them, just to really think, okay, it's kind of getting very methodical almost, like is a good way to put it. It's a really good time to be making schedules for the year with so much in Capricorn. But the
mhm,
reason I have the Aquarius, the Uranus, very prominent in the center here, is because we are moving into, all of those planets will be going into Aquarius. And for those that don't know, Aquarius is, it's the thing that is bringing us forward, it's the revolutionary, it's asking us to do things differently, So the way that I
mhm,
see this month and what I was really reflecting on with this code is it's kind of like we're bookended by this Cancer in Capricorn. It's going to be a full moon in Capricorn. We're really
mhm,
bookended with that. Um, and with the Uranus, the Aquarius coming in, we have an opportunity. It's kind of that third point where we have, our emotions are grounding either side, but from that that pillar either side, we can move forward into something new.
Mm,
Without seeing where we're at, we can't move forward. We have to be very
mm,
brutally honest with where we're at emotionally, in our work, very mundane, boring things. And it's from that place we can then make new decisions and kind of, move forward. And I've just been
mhm,
reminded, actually, someone said that this piece reminded them of the Chariot card in the tarot.
mm,
I don't
mhm,
know. I'm not that much of an expert in tarot, but that's it. I know it's that forward momentum, moving ahead.
mhm.
So, as I said, with a lot of Capricorn to begin with, that's really giving us good ground. I'm rooting for all of us with that. And if you can see here, this is the symbol for Neptune, and Neptune is the planetary ruler of Pisces. And Neptune is going to be going into Aries. It's going to be going to 0 degrees of Aries this month. And
Okay.
0 degrees of Aries is the complete start of the zodiac. And this is really leading up to the 20th of February when Saturn will join Neptune in Aries at 0 degrees Aries. So we
Mm,
have Neptune, the planet of dreams, of the spirit world, of all of those kind of things that we can't see, deep feeling, joining Saturn, which is tangible reality, which is the here and the now, and, it's no fluff. So we have
mhm.
those two coming together at the very 0 point of the zodiac. And
Uh-huh.
so this is such a beautiful time leading up to that, to be really thinking about what you want your life to feel like, what you want your physical life to feel like, moving forward from that point. Like we all have such an amazing opportunity with this coming up. So all of that is kind of, it's just the small Neptune there. Then the next code will have a lot more related to that because it's going to be February. Um, but basically that's what I was thinking about when I was creating this code.
Wow.
There's a bit
It's
more.
absolutely amazing. For me, when you sort of zoom out, those two big wheels on the bottom look like a bicycle that we can hop on and ride forward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Definitely, like a mechanical, energetic bicycle, we can all ride into the sky, but with our
Well,
feet.
yes, that was absolutely beautiful. And it was so beautiful listening to you share about your art because you got really excited about it. You're just like, here's what's going on here. This is why this is here. And it's like, it's so beautiful hearing you describe your art and why the elements are where they are. And I could really feel that Cancer Capricorn axis, the
Mm,
polarity, and it was so that gave so much explanation too to why that water symbol was kind of pouring in at the top.
and yeah,
It
yeah, yeah.
grounded, and then also the double meaning too, where you talked about being rooted, and then you said, "I'm rooting for you." It's like, oh yeah, right. There's that, right?
Mind the
And
pun.
when we say I'm rooting for someone, it's like I want you to be rooted.
Exactly, exactly. That's what I want for everyone. We all need our
Yes.
feet in the ground. We all need our feet in the ground.
Oh,
And
and it
and I
also, sorry,
I
go
was
ahead.
going to say that if anyone does want to have this, they can sign up to my mailing list and you'll get a free download of it for your phone, desktop, tablet, background. And in that, I also include a written description with insights and in more of what I just said, basically. That's the first time I've spoken it out loud. I'm usually just typing it. So yeah, that's for
Very
free. That's an offering if anyone would like that to keep it with
okay.
them a month. And
Can
if
you
you
share
yeah,
your
I
website, please?
Sure. So my website is www.alyss, Alyss,
Mhm.
hertz.com. So www.alyss.com. That's my website.
Okay, wonderful. Oh, and I just wanted to, I wanted to let you know too that just talking about astrology. So this group, our 144 light work, 144,000 light workers group, I received a download just over 5 years ago, I guess 6 years ago, to create the group and was just curating it very quietly by myself behind the scenes for about 5 years. And when Pluto moved into Aquarius in November of 2024,
Mhm.
all of a sudden, 75,000 people showed up.
Wow.
Yeah, in 5 years, it grew to 5,000 people. And in a few weeks, it grew to almost where we're at. So it very much was an astrological phenomenon.
I mean, that just shows, people who are in this group are ahead, they're forging the path ahead, Pluto and Aquarius is not waiting for no one. You
Right?
know, that's so epic. That's awesome. That's really
Yeah,
awesome.
I thought you'd enjoy that. Just when you were
Yeah,
talking about Aquarius, it's like, yeah, that's what happened. And that's where we're at, where we are moving forward, as we're finally ready to come together.
definitely.
The moment arrived. It's not about making it happen or thinking about it.
No.
These astrological phenomena have such force and impact on us collectively.
Oh,
Yeah.
for sure. We're all within this cloud of energy, they're the celestial bodies that mirror us. They don't control us, they just mirror again what we're all. It's a symbiotic
Yeah.
situation. And
Yeah.
yeah, to demystify astrology is another one of my goals because
Mm,
I think it's become very misunderstood, but there's ways for us to understand it that doesn't feel as abstract. It's we are made of all the signs. We're not just one sign. We are all the signs. We're fractal beings in a fractal universe. And
yes.
astrology beautifully represents that.
Yes. It's just mirroring back our brilliance to ourselves.
Exactly.
Yeah. Aw. Well, my dear new friend, this
Yeah.
has such a gift to spend time with you. Wow. You are such a visionary, and I bow to your deep listening, to this beautiful connection that you have to your own guiding star. And, you know, long may it continue. You are just bringing so much beauty into the world. And I just want to thank you so much for spending this time with me and with all of us today.
Thank you.
And yeah, I am looking forward to more. Let's do this again.
Yes, let's do it
I'd
again.
love to have you on all the time.
Oh, it would be my pleasure. I sometimes just get a bit of a hermit here. I'm in between lives, let's say. So yeah, this is lit my heart up so much, and the way that you articulate things that I have struggled to forever has just been so helpful. So thank you, and thank you everyone who's come this far and listened. And yeah, I can't wait to connect more. And we've got to
Yeah,
find, we're finding our people. That's another Pluto and Aquarius. We're finding our people, and
absolutely.
that's everyone together.
And another shout out to Sandy for being the conduit who brought us
Yeah,
together here. She's awesome.
shout out
So,
Sandy.
yeah, just all these magical people living from their hearts just
Mm,
make so much beauty happen in the world. So,
yes.
yeah. So,
Amen.
thank you. And this has been an absolute treat for me. And yeah, I so look forward to hearing more from you, Alyss. You're wonderful.
Thank
So,
you, Sarah.
yeah,
Much love.
much love to you too.
Bye.
Okay, we'll see you again soon. Bye for now.
I'm
Um,
staying on.
hang on one second.